All right, Arctic Monkeys, something that I don't know if you guys would even expect me to be talking about because I did talk about Avenged Sevenfold. So, what I'm doing here is just going through a full catalog of people and just different genres and talking about it because there are genres that I always wanted to experience. Avenged Sevenfold, I was already comfortable with some of their music from Call of Duty Zombies, decided to give it a full listen. Blows my mind that I should have listened to them sooner. Same thing with Arctic Monkeys, they're no different. But yeah, here I am. So, Arctic Monkeys, man, they were really enticing to me because I did like some of their songs from their AM project and like Your Worst for Nightmare projects, but I haven't really, you know, dwell into listening to them. So for the past like a month or two, I did like casually like listen to like a full project, maybe listen to a couple songs, and then you know of that album. And like every now and then, I never really try to force myself to like listen to these new genre artists because I don't want to like give myself like a bad impression of just like, man, I'm just listening to this just to listen to it. It's like, no, like I'm trying to open up my ears to listening to different types of sounds. And Arctic Monkeys is one of the most like enticing sounds that I have ever heard for a while, and I always wanted to like get behind their music. So I did find the time to listen to it. And let me tell you something, man, they are really great. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't like the recent album. I don't like the car like that much. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, my only two favorites from the car is There Better Be a Mirror Ball, and then I ain't quite where I think I am. Those are like my only two favorite songs from that album. But like, man, going back to the beginning with Whatever People Say I Am, that's what I'm not. It's such a great introduction to like what Arctic Monkeys is all about, man. This is like probably a great introduction to like any band that any people want to get into of what Arctic Monkeys isn't about, because it just has such a adrenaline rush type of feel. Like, I really do enjoy like the first album that they made. I'm so glad that like I actually took the time to actually listen to it, and I just like it just kept me going and going. Like, I just love like this adrenaline type of feel of like how the first song went. Because in my opinion, running out of breath here, I do love Brainstorm, Teddy Picker. D for Dangerous wasn't really like my favorite one. I do like Do Me a Favor, This House is a Circus. It just sounds so good to me. I just don't know why. Like, the singer is really great, especially with the backup vocalist and the guitars and the drums. It just sounds so packaged together, but it doesn't sound like a band like how I think of it in my way. But I could be weird about that. Favorite Worst Nightmare is the best album in my opinion, like an all time. There are some skips. I ain't gonna hold you, but there is a good amount of fucking songs on here, dude. Like, you cannot tell me from like you cannot find so fucking much quality in here, dude. Like, I'm just over here like cackling my fucking pants, dude. So with your favorite Worst Nightmare has like, I think some of the classics. I think, oh wait, no, I think I got confused. It was the fucking wrong album. Okay, so what I meant to say was the first album had really good songs in the beginning. So because I was like, I just remembered, like, I'm thinking about those songs. Those songs are from your favorite Worst Nightmare because it has like 505 in there too. I remember because I got so confused because like I try to remember like all these songs by memory besides like trying to like look them up as I'm doing it, because I feel kind of weird if I don't like remember some of the songs that I do enjoy. But from Dancing Home and no, Still Take You Home and Dance Shoes are probably one of the best representations of what Arctic Monkeys is all about. There, I clarified it. And then, okay, now we're gonna go back to what the fucking greatest album of all time, like this, your favorite Nightmare. So much shit, dude. I love it, dude. It's just full on consistency. Do me a favor. The House is a Circus. Fucking I think it's one of them is it's the one with the I can't remember. It was the one that I think is in the AM project. Why'd You Only Call Me? I think that it was that one. But let's skip forward to Humbug. Humbug was like not too bad. You know, I felt like there was just some songs that was there. That was it for me. I think it was the dance one, and then I think there was like a secret door one too. I'm pretty sure because it just sounded like you. I don't know how to describe it because they're all different, but they're all the same in sort of sense. Like it just took me a fat minute because I listened to them with also Avenged and other genres on repeat, so I can like kind of memorize like which song is for which. But yeah, but Humbug doesn't have a lot of memorable songs, which just was kind of hard for me to even try to like remember a good song from them. But it didn't have any memorable ones. But man, like favorite worst nightmare has so good songs. I'm not gonna stop praising that. Suck It and See, pretty lackluster in my opinion. I didn't like. I like it, but I didn't like it like too much. Like I think like it just wasn't. There are some good stuff there. Like She's Thunderstorm is probably a good one on there. I like Library Pictures too, and I didn't like the self-titled track. It just wasn't it for me. AM is the most memorable one that everybody praises for this day because it came out in like I don't know, like in the 2010s or whatever, which is really impressive to see this good quality amount of fucking songs, man. I love Do You want to know? I think it's Do I Want to Know? I know there's one with What You Only Call Me. I think there's one called fuck. I can't remember all of them. My apologies on that. But AM is one of the more memorable albums that gets talked about a lot more than Favorite Worst Nightmare, which I understand because that's probably my second favorite album by Arctic Monkeys, following the third with the first, title album of it. But yeah, I think those pinnacle albums are like the best representation of what you can get out of Arctic Monkeys. The Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino is really good in my opinion. I just wish there was just a lot more quality in there because there wasn't too much that really caught my attention. Besides the star treatment and like the four out of five, that one I remember listening to that one back to back because it just has like a unique sound that like kind of caught my attention and I wanted to listen to that over and over. Like that was the most replayed song that I had to listen to for a good minute because it's just like I had a hard time adjusting to see if I liked it or not. I don't know if it was like the production that they were doing or it was just like the singer's voice. It was just like so complex to me, but I really do enjoy it through it all. But I feel like they replace like themselves. So okay, how I feel about like the later projects of it because AM was like the last good one. Like there was like a big gap between those two projects. And I feel like AM to the Tranquility in the Car, I feel like there was like a quite dip of like the energetic side of them has like dumbered down to be more soulful, more indie bass. I feel like there's another word that I'm forgetting, but it was just more pulled back to being more slow, monotone, melodic in a way that like for me personally, like I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it too much because they're a band at the end of the day. So I want to listen to some rebellious rock and indie productions and probably some new innovation. They do progress through each project, but I feel like AM was just like the last good project that they made, and just moving on to it kind of like upset me just like a little bit because they I feel like instrumentally and all that they went to like a whole different direction, like not entirely, but I can hear it in the music. It just didn't feel like the same of like what I was listening to in the beginning. And I guess that's just me not trying to, like, my ears are not really adjusting to that too much because I just picked up on them and I'm getting used to it. So hopefully my opinions can change. Maybe I can just warm up to the car a bit more and the tranquility in the casino. Maybe I can warm up to that a little bit more than than the older projects. But I'm not going to deny the resistance. They're there, they're a part of it. But I'm going to listen to this project a little bit more, but also, listening to other projects by them. I feel like they're a great band to even listen to if you haven't, really dipped into a different genre, like with like indie punk, rock, all that stuff. I do like Panic at the Disco, and this solidifies as one of my second favorite or one of my top favorite bands that for me personally that I ever indulged myself into. So for me, I'm gonna be listening to Arctic Monkeys, along with like other genres, just a little bit more, because listening to pop, rap, and R&B can get a little bit tiring, and especially if I haven't listened to like newer people like these guys. And man, like this could be so kick-ass if I listen to them. Like, there's a lot of artists I have not listened to at all, and this is one of the more regrettable ones. I'm like, damn, I wish I was there. Like, literally at the pinnacle peak of their, existence, man. It was just great. It's a great listening experience for me. I do love each and every one of them to, their respective ways and everything. Like I said, Favorite Worst Nightmare is probably my favorite album by them, besides AM, and Something That You Hear Is What I'm Not. Best fucking like almost 3 run, like Humbug and Suck in the Sea could tune it up like a little bit, but it's just personal preference for me on that. There are some good stuff in those projects, but it just wasn't really there compared to the other 3 albums. But yeah, man, this is like my full experience of listening to Arctic Monkeys. I'm probably gonna listen to more of their projects consistently. Add it to the rotation every now and then, and make memorable like memories with these songs, because that's what I like to do. I like to also enculturate like a memory with the songs, because man, songs like these are just so memorable when you put a memory or anything attached to it. But yeah, guys, for my top favorite songs from Arctic Monkeys, I'll give you my top five. So top five, I would say, no in particular order. It would be from whatchamacallit, that one song, I Ain't Quite Where I Think I Am. I love the production on that one. That's what really made the car a highlight in that song. Like that was my favorite one. And then Only One Who Knows, Brainstorm, the Ultra Cheese, like it's really weird, but I dig it in my opinion. And then The View from the Afternoon, because man, without like that song, that would have just like turned me off, because dude, like that raw energetic feel, man, and that fucking like energy that I was getting from that song, it was just like pumping me up. I'm just like, yeah, I picked the right group of band to like indulge myself into. There's more I want to get into. I know one of them is Queen. Like Queen, I haven't listened to them in forever. I had a whole phase for about like a year. But man, I need to delve in their projects a whole lot more soon. But man, Arctic Monkeys is the shit in my opinion, dude. If I would suggest anybody to listen to on alternative rock or something with like indie in it, like this is what it is like indie rock and all that stuff. Arctic Monkeys is probably one of the top contenders right there to listen to. But hey, man, this is just how I feel about the band. They're really good stuff, man. Really making great music, in my opinion. Hopefully, if they do release another album, hopefully it's more of a consistent sound. Maybe it's something more innovating, or maybe they might delve back into their old roots from their older projects that make something more loud, energetic, and chaotic, but also in a more calm, cohesive manner, if that makes sense. But yeah, guys, Arctic Monkeys is a great band. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment sections. Let me know what your favorite guys' songs or albums and all that stuff. But yeah, guys, I hope y'all have a wonderful morning, night, day, evening, whatever the occasion is. Take care, stay safe, and all that good jazz. My name is guys. Later.